Good Monday morning, and the weekend is gone. We're back to Monday, the day of the moon. I'm a little bit congested. I have, like everybody else in Alabama, got allergy issues. Okay, I'm back. Little Monday morning internet hiccup there, but we're good to go as of now. Thank you for joining in Monday morning. It is 6:18. Thanks to a couple of hiccups this morning. My glasses are crooked on my head, but that's okay. I'm not here for show and tell or to look to a message on this Monday morning. This is the day of the moon. And you notice the title here is Genuine or Not. How do you tell if someone is genuine in what they're presenting, what they're saying? And this is maybe important in several ways. We've got election year coming up. It's important, or should be important, to people who are tuned into churches, religious leaders, and that sort of thing, as to is this person real? Is this person genuine? Can I really put any credence into what this person is saying? And I will share with you why this became a topic for me this morning. Today is June the 15th, and it is Monday. We are in the smack dab of the middle of June here. Yesterday at AL.com, this has been in the news, really hit the news a couple of weeks ago, I think. And this involves the Church of the Highlands, which became the big mega master church of Alabama, bought up all kind of property. They are just well-funded and a very well-known religious institution. And it is run by a man by the name of Chris Hodges, who is the pastor of the church. This church started in 2004, I think. They used to rent a space on Sundays from one of the Birmingham public schools. And it grew and grew and grew to where it is today. So that's 16 years. And massive growth. Some 50,000 people attend the Church of the Highlands weekly services. They have 22 branch campuses around the state, all the way from Auburn, Birmingham, Huntsville, Mobile Bay, Montgomery, Tuscaloosa, and then even one in Columbus, Georgia. Um, so he got in trouble with the public in the middle of all this racial unrest, this police brutality, and the protests going on around the country. Come to find out that Pastor Chris Hodges, by the way, who is very light-skinned Caucasian, someone noticed him following on social media, I guess, a guy by the name of Charlie Kirk, who's president of Turning Point USA, and is a very super conservative and controversial commentator. And this came out in the media on May the 31st, which will be a couple of weeks ago. And so here we are. This is what's going on in that world. Let's see. I want to excuse me for a moment, but I kind of made a click on a page here. Come on. Got too many pages open up. I need to close a couple of things out here so I can see what I'm doing better. I want to follow my notes. There we go. Too many windows open up here. Just going to clear a couple of things out. Okay. So here we go. So this Charlie Kirk, who's president of this nonprofit Turning Point USA, it's a high school and college campus organization that is very controversial for its political stances. And I guess a Birmingham High School teacher made a post on Facebook pointing out that Pastor Hodges was liking these media posts by Kirk. And the teacher, one Jasmine Faith Clisby, teaches English at Carver High School, has a degree in English from the University of Alabama, and a doctorate in education at UAB. And she states, "I'd be upset if it comes off as me judging him," she said. "It's not that. I'm not saying he's a racist. I'm saying he likes someone who posts things that do not seem culturally sensitive to me." She said she found it objectionable and noteworthy that Hodges followed Kirk on social media. One of the main things Kirk harps on is white privilege being a myth. And I know people that claim that the white privilege thing is a myth. I found something troubling, Clisby said. I can't see into Pastor Chris Hodges' heart. One meme shared by Kirk featured a photo of Donald Trump standing alongside Muhammad Ali and Rosa Parks with the caption, "The racist Donald Trump in the 1980s," next to a photo of Democratic Virginia Governor Ralph Northam and a photo of two men wearing blackface and a KKK costume in a 1984 yearbook photo for Eastern Virginia Medical School. The caption for the second photo was "Progressive leftist Ralph Northam in the 1980s. Clisby also shared a screenshot of that post with Hodges as one of those who liked the post on social media. Another screenshot showed Hodges liking a post about former President Barack Obama playing golf beneath a quote from Michelle Obama urging people to stay home except for essential activities. Another screenshot shows Hodges liking a photo of Kirk donating blood above the sentence, "We all must do our part to defeat China virus." Hodges, who has been active in the Evangelicals for Trump coalition, addressed racism in his online sermon Sunday morning and mentioned the media post. And he seemed at that point to take a different stance. White supremacy or any supremacy other than Christ is of the devil. Just some have even brought our church or even me into question. They're wondering where do you really stand? I think some saw something on social media that questioned my character, and I'll own it, by the way, but that is not what I believe. He devoted much of his morning sermon on Sunday and prior service on Saturday morning to discuss racism. It has been an incredibly tough season for our nation, Hodges said, not only for coronavirus, which has tensions at the highest, but of course, the racial injustices we're experiencing. On Monday, once again, an unarmed black man died needlessly. A police officer knelt on George Floyd's neck, Hodges says. I know with each new incident, with this one, I think a couple more names, it's disgraceful that racism, injustice, bigotry, blah, 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 still even exists at all. I want you to know that I believe it makes God angry and makes us angry too. I know we need to do something. We need to pray. We need to be the church, but Proverbs says to speak up to those who cannot speak up for themselves, blah, 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 blah. People have asked, is Highlands going to say anything? I feel like we have, but I will make sure today, if that has not been clear to you, I'm going to make sure today that racism, bigotry, prejudice are real, they exist, and they are of the devil. It's not what we teach. I understand how this has made you feel, and I apologize. Honestly, it's understandable to me. I don't take it personally. I know people are hurting right now, and they want clarity. I'd love for you to not just look at a microscope, zoom in, but look at the totality of 37 years of ministry and 19 years as a church. If you look at that, it'll be abundantly clear that we value every person, blah, 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 blah. We'll never start fighting for liberty and justice for all. I love you. I'm sorry for perhaps the way you feel. Beg us to come together in the unity under the name of Jesus. And I really believe that God will heal our land. And Clisby says she listened to Hodges' sermon on Sunday and his reference to social media. He admitted it. He owns up to it. He says he doesn't believe that, she said. Clisby said she was making a point about cultural sensitivity. With racial unrest going on in the country, awareness is an important thing, blah, blah, blah. While majority white, the Church of Highlands draws thousands of black worshipers, including at two inner city Birmingham congregations. As part of the work before shutting down as a precaution, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, the public did not let this die very quickly. So yesterday, after all this time, a couple of weeks later, Hodges felt like he had to readdress. He had to speak up about this silliness he involved himself in with following and liking this ultra-conservative Charlie Kirk of Turning Point USA, who's posting these very racist memes and blah, blah, blah. Now, I want to make clear a couple of things that to me are noteworthy. When he came back 2 weeks later with his sermon yesterday, I want you to note that what I just went through, which was on June the 2nd, when he sent out that one apology, and then in his sermons, after he was kind of outed for his following this person, and 2 weeks later, he addresses it again in a sermon, and this time it never died, so he had to take a stronger stance, I guess, yesterday, which was Sunday, in his sermon. Now, I want you to know that here's this Chris Hodges, this pastor. At the Church of Highlands, it's not like there's a pastor giving a sermon every Sunday in each one of these churches. Like if you go to this Baptist church over here, you've got some man or woman standing up here giving a sermon, and if you go to the Baptist church over there, you got somebody else standing up. No, Church of Highlands is all about Chris Hodges. He's beaming his face on big screen TVs, simulcasting it to all these satellites. Church of the Highlands churches, if you will, which there's a lot of them. they own the real estate in Alabama. Let's put it that way. 22 places in Alabama. He's broadcasting, I think, from the one just south of Birmingham, and this simulcast all across these 22 branches to all these people. Some people have even gone to the point of calling the Church of the Highlands a cult because of the way that he functions with his ministry. Now, be very clear. It's a tell-all here, and I'm going to get into the how you judge if someone's genuine or not. Let me do that first, then we'll go into a few other comments about this. In here I am, and I'm a pastor, a minister for, and some 50,000 and more people are coming to me for spiritual food. That is what I should be doing if I'm calling myself a church serving quote unquote Christ. I should be delivering spiritual food. I should be feeding you something positive, something good, something truthful, to be very clear. And so when this comes up, he's using his Saturday morning prayer service. And I don't go to the church. I know a lot of people, I've dealt with a lot of people who have been members of the Church of Highlands. My next door neighbor works for the Church of Highlands. I'm not totally ignorant to what goes on at the Church of Highlands. So anyway, he uses these sermons as not providing spiritual food for these 50,000 and more people, but he's using it to talk about himself. And see, this is very telling, very telling. Because if you're genuine in what you're doing, you're not expending your energy in that way. You're coming to me, and it's like, I'm not here to sell myself. We can have a conversation. You want to know about religion, you want to know about faith and those sorts of subjects. You want to know about spirituality. I'm not going to sell me. I can share with you what I've learned, and that is above and beyond me. I'm no better than you. I often say I can't save myself. What can I do for you? Well, I can say, well, I've read this, I've studied that, I've spent years and years of my life digging into this, just like you would learn from a scientist or a school teacher who went to school to learn something to convey that message. Now, one person conveying this message may have a particular mannerism that you like over that person. But at the end of the day, it's not about who I am or what I'm doing in my life. It's about the message. And this is where Christianity as a whole gets their Christianity wrong, because they're more concerned about the this if you will, a Christian icon called Jesus, and this is where it falls apart for so many people. So this Hodges' response and the way he handled this in his church services to over 50,000 people was not in. It was about me. It's about Hodges. Very much about Hodges. He spent so far, according to what I'm learning, at least 3 days doling out this information in such a way. So I want you to, now that kind of gives you an overview of what he was saying when it first came out. And then, he lost his, the church's position with the Housing Authority and the Christ Health Center and all these other things that he built up. They were paying the Birmingham City Schools $6,000 a week to rent facilities at 2 different high schools on Sunday mornings. And so they lost all that. So here's the way that he opens up yesterday's Sunday morning church service. From according to what I'm reading, I did not personally watch it. I am not the same Chris Hodges I was 2 weeks ago. Do I have a long way to go? Yes, sir. But I can look you in the eye and say, I have been tested, stripped, disciplined, broken. He says, not only does a lot need to be said, a whole lot needs to be done, blah, blah, blah. But I want you to follow very closely. It's really, and I'm quoting him again, it's really been one of the most painful things I've been through. I know God is disciplining me, breaking me, I. Are you getting the point? A broken and contrite heart is the pathway to the presence and anointing of God. I think God's doing it to America. Oh, now he's gonna, it's like, I am part of this American movement. You see the patriots, you got to pull all this together, but it's mostly I. And then he tells a story where he pulled in 4 black campus pastors and their wives to ask them, what can we do? What can I do? You know, I truly believe the devil is going to be defeated, and we're going to see not only a healing from a disease, but I don't think our land is ever going to be the same again. I truly believe we're going to see lasting change. The emphasis on I, and then he starts to season that I, me, I. Well, then he pulls in, and this is the way it works. He pulls in the little patriotism. It's election year, got to have that patriotism pulled in there. And then he wants to pull in the flock. It's not just me, it's we. Even though I've said I and me 5 billion times, it's we. You are part of we. You're part of me. You see what I'm saying? This shows what it's all about. When he met with these 4 black campus pastors and their wives, he said that he told them, he says, tell me what I don't know. I want to grow. I want to learn. I want to hear. This is not in a private conversation. It's not a board meeting. This is talking to over 50,000 people that follow this man. I. So he asked, what should he be saying? It's all about I. What should I say? So one of the black wives looked at him and said, we don't need you to say anything. We just need you to feel it. He's not feeling it yet because he's like Donald Trump. He is a mini Trump. He's the religious pastor version of Donald Trump. I look what I did. It's me. I'm being persecuted. But he seasons it with America's being persecuted. You see? And how does he wind us all up? We learn, we lament. And only can we love. We live in a society that wants instant feedback. I beg you to slow down. The fuck, after you talk about I, me, then you're going to beg your congregation to do something different? America, I'm crying out to you. Learn, lament. Let's get each other's backs again. Let's protect one another. In other words, he's saying, protect me. I'm sorry, I screwed up. It's not about anything good. It's about me. He built this empire, Church of Highlands. And see, if people had paid attention to Donald Trump, they would have caught on to this as well. And I often tell a story. And this is how you can tell the genuineness again of anybody. But way back when before he bankrupted his casino, I think in New Jersey, he contracted with the Rolling Stones. I think back in the 80s. Maybe in the 80s, maybe the 90s. I don't remember exactly when. but it's a true story. So he contracted with the Rolling Stones, Mick Jagger, come and play at my casino. And part of the contract is he wanted to, right before the concert, have a publicity thing, news conference. The Rolling Stones do a news conference for their, Rolling Stones. Ultimately, of course, it's like we're talking about the casino. Well, the Rolling Stones, knowing what they knew about Mick Jagger, about Donald Trump, came back and said, we'll do a news conference, but we don't want not with Donald Trump in the room. We will not do it with Donald Trump in the room. So in the negotiations, then I guess the attorney, whoever was negotiating the contract for Mr. Trump, agreed to that, and they put it in the contract. So the day came, the Rolling Stones showed up, Mick Jagger, they're sitting in a room with the media, getting ready to start a news conference. In comes Donald Trump. He walks up, I guess, to a podium, and the Rolling Stones stand up, and they get ready to say, we're getting out of here. And the people that had negotiated this contract with the Rolling Stones grabbed Mr. Trump and ushered him out of the room, and he said, what's going on? They said, this is the agreement we had. You're not going to be part of this news conference. And Trump sitting there whining like a baby saying, it's mine. It's my news conference. And anyway, because they had negotiated, the Mick Jagger and the Stones were a lot smarter than the American public. So they knew what Donald Trump was all about way back then. And anybody that paid attention to Donald Trump knew what Donald Trump was all about. Just like I followed this Chris Hodges, not closely, I've not stalked him or anything like that, but he's been in the news a lot. And I've served a lot of people that have been associated with and worked with and so forth, the Church of the Highlands. So I've gotten to know a little bit about what's going on over there. And I already know, this is not surprising to me, that Chris Hodges, Church of the Highlands, is all about Chris Hodges. He's Trump. So it doesn't, number one, surprise me that he's a staunch supporter of Donald Trump. And that's indicated by the fact that, make sure I read this right, he belongs to this, or he started this coalition of support for Donald Trump. What is that called again? I want to find that, so bear with me a second. I think it's important to note, because that's what Donald Trump's all about. This is the entire thing. It's all about Trump. It's all about building this name, this legacy for yourself. And I wish I could find that real quick. And I'm not finding it real quick. I know it's in here, but this article's a little bit lengthy. Oh, hold on, bear with me. I'm not just don't go anywhere yet. But there's a lot of telling things you learn about this. And first of all, I don't think that a church should in any way be backing any politician. There should be this very distinct separation of church and state. This should not be. Anyway, I'm not finding it, but some kind of coalition of churches for Trump or some bull crap like that. And I'm just not. Oh, there it is. Evangelicals for Trump coalition. He's been active in. So you got to understand, it's not surprising then that this man would follow that conservative whomever. It just falls right in harmony with what the whole Trump thing is. You can't be genuine if you can. Okay, I'm a minister. I'm here to serve you. And certainly there's going to be people out there that's going to criticize me and my role that I'm playing in life. But do I let that? The genuineness comes about as to do I let that shift my focus because they choose that path? Did I let that shift my focus to where I'm spending my time? Here I am serving all these people. I claim that I've got your spiritual interest at heart. So I am suddenly allowing this criticism about me personally and what I'm doing personally. I'm allowing that criticism to take me away from what I claim is important to me. And that claim is your spirituality, your spiritual well-being. But because someone makes some accusation, it's like, yeah, I ain't got time for that. Now, see, people, I don't understand a black person or a female that would be involved in any form of Christianity. I don't get it because I know something about the history of Christianity. I know something about the way the Bible's been handled, the teachings have been handled throughout history, not recently, but throughout history. And all of a sudden, you think that this God that never changes, all of a sudden there's a new improved version of this same club. It's like, let's reinvent the KKK and then let's remarket it and package it for blacks. Is that where we're going with this? Seemingly so. That's what's happened with Christianity. It's been repackaged to say all of a sudden we embrace women. Women are not subject to men, which not all of them believe that. Man is a superior. Just like white is a superior, even though nobody in the Bible was American Bible. You know, yeah. But the whole thing comes down to interpretation anyway. But as far as racism is concerned, nobody should have been surprised that the likes of Chris Hodges would be following right-wing conservative pundits belong to these evangelical coalitions for Trump and crap like that. Nobody should be surprised at that at all. Because number one, Chris Hodges is out from his own name. He's in Alabama. And this has nothing to do with Christ. This has nothing to do with truth. It has nothing to do with being genuine. Because that's not it. And that's just back as soon as it hits, he's taking his time that he come Sunday morning to get some spiritual food, to get some enlightenment for me, and I will spend my time talking about me. I'm going to spend your time talking about me. I went over that, what he said yesterday. I. Me. Over and over. I said in one sermon I heard when I was a kid, he said, eye trouble. Serious eye trouble. That's the answer there, because it's not about, the spiritual thing. I can impart something to you. I can organize this meeting. I can talk to you. But I can't do anything for you. You're no better than anyone else. No worse than anybody else, I think. But it comes about me. That is all telling. That is 100% all telling, just like it is with Trump. All this crap is taking place, and Trump's response to this pandemic, Trump's response to these protests, his response to everything is very telling. It's not about your interest. It's about the interest of those up there, his buddies, the wealthy, because we're the worker bees. We're there to serve our masters, right? I mean, that's the way they look at it. You've got to understand the way they look at it. That's your position in life. Oh, that's where you are. You're here to serve. I will give you some crumbs off my table. Now, I'm also going to have you sweep up those crumbs that you don't eat. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Of course, you can't wear boots, can you? And that's it. And we demean those who are in these horrible positions. We demean those and we exalt those. You know, that, oh, we look at success in this country. I guess people are known for quite a while. They try themselves in this picture of this little Beverly Hillbillies shack before they start the war. What they've turned it into over the years since then, and people just love. Oh gosh, they get praised. They get praised. Oh, they got this massive following because that's the way we look at it in our country. That's the way we look at it. Oh, you've done it. You pulled yourself up by your bootstrap. Let's be fair. Let's be honest about this. I'm not naming names or anything, but let's be honest about this. They didn't start out with nothing. It wasn't the game at all. These people didn't start out with nothing. They didn't pull themselves up on that bootstrap. Not that they didn't have difficulties for life going around, but just took some family property. They didn't have any investment in this. Over the years, they built something over the years. To be fair, got their own admission they used to make something else. They're not knocking them. That's fine. But to use that is to motivate success, unfortunately, in our society is rated by the most good information investigators. The best success that one of the rich people commit suicide. One of the people that have the mansions have miracle money. You see what I'm saying? One of the wealthiest men on the earth dying in jail because of committed actually had to convicted of something. Those families are success without manipulation. These people got what they got off the sweat of other people, not that they didn't get theirs themselves. It didn't happen without other people. How much energy are they utilizing? Raise them to sweat talents. How much credit are they getting? But if they throw you a bomb, hey, thank you. But overall, what you hear, what you see, and what you feel, what you think, we don't use the words. It's very tangible. See? But we're the ones that whose talents we can go to use the all. Some of them, yeah. Worker. If they get the pay that you are not important, maybe what all right, thanks, we have to bring this thing. They will or they will. Not very much. Stay over there. No. It was great. 22 church. Well, another year of grandkids. Oh, when I was a kid, a couple of years ago, now they're just everybody. Well, I didn't realize that they technically was doing small people about the line. Also, looking at the venue, we come to find out, unbeknownst to me at that point, I learned that these are now responsible for this kid built in their faces. Now, there may be one information that face those ticket smashes and every line to make it they depend on you, all these kids, and all these people. But I think people great if they didn't charge you something like that. If they didn't charge you know? So afterwards, this place, you might see, we're in a situation where we work with wealthy, we work with jobs, and it's just totally like I mentioned. But the whole thing I've been talking about is genuine. And you can tell by, first of all, far as the church is supported by African Americans, this guy who started a movement what he is following, I think, opposed to the railroad. And at the same time claiming church. He's trying to white privilege. I can't go further than a lot of people offer and say white privilege. Not only did I come out with my school, I came out in we got our world. I look for our world. We let the blacks get involved and give them information. We used to call COVID business. Sometimes we call it our wall, direct down, etc. A lot of grandfathers were at times where they were more bold about it. Just directly. That's a short time ago. I mean, in my time, it's still there. That world is still there. The Donald Trump people who claim overly persecuted that red line he's chosen the moment too. He didn't want it to Trump grabbed hold of it and runs with it, tweets about it, and he makes it better. Obama decided that he wasn't going to the presidency after the good thing. Right, for I could black man or hey, Trump. Good. That's memoir. So it's taken. It's what is going to be. Now, how great he was. And We were raised different. He can't write a book. He's never written a book. Most writers write out. He doesn't. He's not smart. That's just a fact. Not everybody is. He's not. He has his role as president. There you go. So don't be surprised if the Chris Hodges of the world, Alabama, but no doubt got a very strong support. Why anybody would support this man or his church? Why any African American dark skinned person? I can keep it easy. I started to get over the people. Yeah, but this is how people are blinded and they're conned into subjecting and taking pride in women as well to what men. Here's the fun. Overall, in our community, in relationships, if the woman gets offended, this is a marquee my man. You know, somebody knows, you know, at this wedding day, that's that one. And then we think, oh, they compare diamond company, they think they got one. Well, compares diamond companies, the diamond is your best friend. A man told them the diamond. A man told them that. No woman was ever in that outfit theirs when they came out with their slogan, when they came out with that marketing plan. There was no woman involved in that saying, oh, the diamond is my best friend. No. A man sit there and convinced the woman that a diamond was the best friend. Give me fun. Wow. The whole wedding process, like the woman being given away to the woman, her father, family, and whomever escorts her in. Man, independently, right? Not independent. Look at me, I can walk for myself. A woman can walk for herself. Yes, I'm escorted. Oh, you're escorted. She gets up to the front. Yeah, yeah. But see, it makes her feel good. She has a dollar. And she's very over which is bullshit. Which is called bullshit. Life was never designed for purity. That's bullshit. Because royalty in England wore a white wedding gown for a wedding, and Americans said, wow, she did that? I'm going to do that too. There she comes. She's got on the mark. You want a diamond? He owns me. And I'm proud of it because diamonds are my best friend. I know that's true because this group of guys that work for the Bears Diamond Company told me it's true. So, give me the diamond, put a ring on it. One of the popular songs in the last few years, decade or so. Put a ring on it. God, are you kidding me? Who let me buy this bullshit? Who let me buy this bullshit? Dad escorts her down the aisle. My little girl, I'm going to give you to this man. See the symbolism there all the way through. Who gives when she marries this man? Her mother and I. Little girl, you're his, Daddy. We're free of you. You belong to him. He gave you the ring. Your best friend, the diamond, is on your finger. He's going to feed you. He's going to clothe you. He's going to take care of you. He's going to support you. Whatever you want to do. But remember, you're going to take on his name. You're no longer marrying my name. You're going to take on his name. Even though, when you get married, the guy has as much right I can take on the bride's name. That's just legal. Either way, it don't have to be the woman taking on the man's name. That's the way to do it. Because the woman just a little bit thin. There's the woman. Down there. Okay, I'm going to respect you. Oh, don't piss her off. But that's the way we do it. And all of this was supported by, encouraged by the church. Christianity. Even till today, some churches are into that. There must be a subjection to the man. Just a few years ago, Methodist Church in Springville, Alabama. Oh, the pastor went on and on. During the ceremony, he told that bride whether this man is right or wrong, you got to obey him. Literally, I'm talking about 21st century bullshit here. Whether this is not old stuff. I'm the man. I'm the man. And women buy this horse shit. So all of a sudden, you're going to take this institution based on this book that was used to subject you, to keep you down. And it was also used to enslave the blacks, to keep the dark-skinned people down and promote white supremacy. So we're just going to repackage that. Just ignore that lengthy history of all that stuff. Package it because the church falls apart without a woman. And nowadays, the church damn near falls apart without blacks. Who would have thought? The very people. Blacks weren't Christian. There were books written on how to convert your slaves to be a Christian. And the blacks buy this sort of shit. How to convert blacks to be Christian. They did the same thing with indigenous people. Indigenous people. And what do we call them? They're Native Americans. They're Indians. Yeah, Native Americans and Indians. Where did that talking come from? There was no American. How can there be Native American? No American. There's no fucking America here. But they're Native American? No. Indian? Where did the term Indian come from? Explorers landing over here. Not even in America. United States. Not even on this part of land, but mostly on some islands and whatnot. They saw some indigenous people. Indians! We made it to India because that's where they wanted to go, was India. These indigenous people never went to India. They were Indian. But yet to this day, stupidly, and they take pride in the bullshit. That's how stupid people are. I'm Indian. I'm 50% Indian. That's how stupid these people are. Have you ever been to India? Huh? What? Wait, what are you saying? I'm one of these Indians. I'm Native American. Really? There were no Native Americans. See how stupid? People don't. And they just ride with it. It's just like for years and years and years, for hundreds of years, probably thousands of years, from our perception, the human believe, that the sun revolved around the earth because we're the center of everything. Like religion likes to teach you now. We're the center of everything. Pay attention. We're the center of everything. Then we find out some 300 years ago that we're not the center of everything, that the earth goes around the sun. But what do we say? The sun rises, the sun sets. The sun don't do either of those things. The sun doesn't rise, the sun doesn't set. We buy this horse hockey. We haven't caught our lingo up with our knowledge. So we stay forever stunted because we play these psychological games with ourselves because it's just what we do in our ignorance. People, especially around here, live on the assumption that you believe in Christ. Oh, that you even believe in God. You be out in strangers spending your money with these people. God bless. I'm apt to say, which God? Which God can bless me? Oh, there's only one God, they'll say. Really? So the Muslims and the Christians have the same God? So the Hindus worship the same God as you? So you worship Oscar Bahu? Is that it? You worship Oscar Bahu? Oh, no. It's too much. It's too much to think about. People don't want to think about it because there's a ball game. What are we going to do? This virus is out. No Alabama football. Oh, Lord God, what am I going to do? No Alabama football. Well, they got that down. This other stuff is like, that's too deep. You're thinking too much. You're thinking way too much. You need to chill out. Just shut this down. Open your heart. Just open your heart. Don't. You're just going too far. Did you see that guy run with that ball? Oh, man, he can throw. And that guy kicked that ball from way back yonder. He got between them two poles. Did you see that? That's where we are. And we think we're smart because they can keep it down. They don't want you to think. Knowledge is the forbidden fruit. Do you get it yet? Knowledge is the forbidden fruit. Why do you think that story is written in the Bible? It's not to make you smart. It's to keep you dumb. It's in the Bible. The Bible starts out that way. You are a sinner because you sought knowledge. That's why people know more about Alabama football and reality TV and all this other entertainment bullshit than they do about their God. That's why all these people can name you all these entertainers. I know who sang that song in 1962. That song right there was recorded by the Hooba Jubies back in 1984. The first concert I went to was blah, 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 blah. They got that shit down. Did you see episode 6 of The Walking Dead? Especially 6. 3 was pretty good, but episode 6 had it going on. I'm looking forward to episode 12, personally. Because what happened at the end of episode 11 got me wondering, got me thinking, what's going to happen to old Bob, you know? Did he actually get bit by that zombie? I can't wait to find out. I ain't going to miss that. Don't be bothering me Sunday night at 7 o'clock, because you know where I'm going to be. I'm going to be watching The Walking Dead. So you can name all these actors, you can name all these sports players, you can name all these people. Well, what about somebody that's done something like coming this close to find a cure for some great disease, Alzheimer's? Can you name that person? Oh, no, I don't know. But I know my son got a soccer game. I know I'm going deer hunting. And the weather person, I'm going to fish. I know the best bait to use to get that fish. Ain't got time for no science. No, thank y'all for doing that stuff, but where's my rod and reel? See ya. This is where we are. This is where we are. Nobody's talking this because the trucks don't want you to think that much. Chris Hodges don't want you to think that much. Chris Hodges wants you to simply show up and say amen. And the best case scenario that Chris Hodges would like is, would you volunteer to help in this thing we got going this weekend? We need 15 bodies to show up in the parking lot because we're going to do so-and-so. Or we're having a fundraiser. Would you volunteer? You don't have to talk about God. You talk about football. I don't care. Just show up and help us out. Thank you. I do talking about God. Just listen to what I got. Well, when I'm not talking about myself, that is. Because see, I do have a little eye trouble. It is bad. Well, I am the one that started this thing, you know. It started way back in 2004. I started this thing at a high school. Yes, sir. I started this thing. And now in just 16 years, I got 22 branches from state Alabama. Well, actually, one of them's in Georgia. Yeah. But let me make sure that you understand. Me. That's what it's all about. Don't think, people. Whatever you do, don't think. There's a TV show going on. There's a documentary happening. Yeah. Don't think. Sit down. Just open up your heart. That's all it takes. Just shut the mind down. Open up the heart, because I'm going to pull you in your emotions. I'm going to tell you a sweet story about the little lady that she was critically ill. The doctors couldn't find a cure. They pretty much told that poor little lady to go home. Be saying goodbye to your kids. Get your things in order. Get your affairs in order. That was 7 years ago. She's still here. It's a miracle from God. Hear those stories all the time. It's a miracle from God. Can you prove it? I don't have to prove it. I got faith. I don't have to prove it. Just believe me. Open up your heart. Don't shut it down. Right here. Shut it down. You know, we used to wear chastity belts around our privates, you know, to make sure you didn't get involved in hanky-panky when you weren't supposed to. I think they need to make a chastity thing for the head to contain it, not let it venture out too far. Just have a little couple of openings for sports, for entertainment, you know, and then for Preacher Bob. Got this little hole right here. Preacher Bob can get it right in there. But independent thinking, oh, don't be a fool. Because you're not me. Don't be a fool. I know what you don't know. Me and God's like this. Me and God has blessed my efforts. I built this by the blessing of God. Wasn't my idea. I just woke up and God put that idea there. Yeah, here I am today. I got 22 branches. Sit back. Say you love Jesus. Accept him as your Lord and Savior. Be washed clean by the blood of the Lamb. Ball game comes on. 2:00. Say amen. Amen. Have a good day, folks. Nice talking to you.